for coming and celebrating this great achievement with us today. As the class of 2018 leaves these memory-filled hallways, we seek to represent Canterbury School with grace and dignity in all of our future endeavors. May our efforts be blessed with confidence and guided by understanding and wisdom. We seek to help the world around us with respect for all. May our experiences here give us the strength to act with honesty, kindness, and integrity in everything that our futures lead us to.
A New Day by Levon Baylor. This is a new day filled with fresh possibilities. We gather to participate in the new things God has done. Old ways and tired routines are left behind. Our God comes to us in unexpected ways and refreshes all who join the adventure.
Those who claim sophistication and power may miss the movement of the eternal. All who give up their pretenses will find unusual opportunities. Let us together explore the wonders of God. Create in us clean hearts, O God, and renew our spirits.
If, by Rudyard Kipling, is a poem that in its origins was addressed to an audience of young men. The poem's message, however, transcends gender barriers and offers all of us good counsel. If you can keep your head about when all about you are losing theirs and blaming it on you, if you can trust yourself when all men doubt you, but make allowance for their doubting too.
If you can wait and not be tired by waiting, or being lied about, don't deal in lies. Or being hated, don't give way to hating, and yet don't look too good nor talk too wise.
If you can dream and not make dreams your master, if you can think and not make thoughts your aim, if you can meet with triumph and disaster, and treat those two impostors just the same.
If you can bear to hear the truth you've spoken, twisted by knaves to make a trap for fools, or watch the things you gave your life to, broken, and stoop and build them up with worn-out tools.
If you can make one heap of all your winnings and risk it all on one turn of pitch and toss and lose, and start again at your beginnings and never breathe a word about your loss.
If you can force your heart and nerve and sinew to serve your turn long after they are gone, and so hold on when there is nothing in you except the will which says to them, hold on.
If you can talk with crowds and keep your virtue, or walk with kings nor lose the common touch, if neither foes nor loving friends can hurt you, if all men count with you but none too much.
If you can fill the unforgiving minute with 60 seconds worth of distance run, yours is the earth and everything that's in it, and, which is more, you'll be a man, my son.
A scripture reading from Proverbs. Happy are those who find wisdom and those who get understanding, for the gain from it is better than the gain from silver, and its profit better than gold. She is more precious than jewels, and nothing you desire can compare with her. Long life is in her right hand, and in her left are riches and honor. Her ways are ways of pleasantness, and all her paths are peace. She is a tree of life to those who lay hold of her. Those who hold her fast are called happy.
The Lord by wisdom founded the earth. By understanding the Lord established the heavens. By his knowledge the deep was divided, and the clouds let drop the dew. My children, preserve sound judgment and discernment. Do not let them out of your sight. Then you will go on your way in safety, and your feet will not stumble.
I'll ride with the horses, I'll swim through the sea, I'll climb to the mountain tops. Won't you come follow me?
I'll take time to notice all that I see. And after I've come so far, you know where I'll be.
I'll fly away,
Fly away, fly away home.
I'll fly away,
Fly away home. Well, life is a vision, that's how it should be. The world is a canvas, and the choices are free.
at the end of the journey, when all is complete,
They'll all wonder where I've gone, but you know where I'll be.
I'll fly away,
Fly away home.
I'll fly away,
Fly away home. Our dreams last forever, for all that we know. The roads come together, and that's where we'll go.
we'll fly away,
Fly away home.
we'll fly away,
Fly away home. Ooh, we'll fly
reading from Ecclesiastes 3, 1 through 8. For everything there is a season, and a time for every matter under heaven, a time to be born, and a time to die, a time to plant, and a time to pluck up what is planted, a time to kill, and a time to heal, a time to break down, and a time to build up.
A time to weep and a time to laugh, a time to mourn and a time to dance, a time to cast away stones and a time to gather stones together, a time to embrace and a time to refrain from embracing, a time to seek and a time to lose.
A time to keep and a time to cast away, a time to rend and a time to sow, a time to keep silence and a time to speak, a time to love and a time to hate, a time for war and a time for peace.
The prayer of St. Francis. Lord, make me an instrument of your peace. Where there is hatred, let me sow love. Where there is injury, pardon. Where there is doubt, faith. Where there is despair, hope. Where there is darkness, light. And where there is sadness, joy.
Divine Master, grant that I may not so much seek to be consoled as to console, to be understood as to understand, to be loved as to love. For it is in giving that we receive, it is in pardoning that we are pardoned, and it is in dying that we are born to eternal life.
Class of 2018, students, family, and friends. During the course of this school year, we've had numerous occasions to celebrate Canterbury's 40th year. We celebrated at our fall family picnic. We took an aerial photograph for the school's Christmas card. We gave out 40th anniversary t-shirts to all faculty, students, and staff. We celebrated at Laughing Cavalier, the theme of which was Through the Decades. We had birthday cake for all, and we referred to this milestone on countless other occasions. I suppose it's not all that surprising that on occasion I've also found myself thinking about what was happening in my own pre-Canterbury life 40 years ago. And as my mind has turned in this direction, I found that I keep coming back to a very special couple of weeks during the summer of 1978. Sometime before Christmas of 1977, my brother, sister, and I were all musing that all of us had developed a love of traveling and, in fact, had all lived abroad for periods of time, largely because our parents took an interest in history and culture. I have fond memories of going to travel lectures with my dad on Sunday afternoons in the winter. At any rate, by the fall of 1977, my brother had lived in England for 2 years. My sister and her husband had lived in Germany and took opportunities to traveling to neighboring countries whenever they could. When I graduated from high school, I went to work for the summer in a chemical factory in Germany. And when I retired from that job, I visited England for the first time, starting a lifelong interest with certain aspects of English culture. Notably missing from my fascination with all things English was a love for English food, until I discovered that the Indians and Pakistanis had successfully introduced tantalizing spices into the English cooking. But I digress. At any rate, it occurred to my brother, sister, and me that a major reason for our interest in travel stemmed directly from our parents, who almost never had a chance to travel and certainly would not have considered it even a possibility to travel to Europe. So as the conversation evolved, we began to think about whether we could pool enough money to send our parents to Europe. We decided that this opportunity might not come around again, so we all pitched in and bought airline tickets to Europe for Mom and Dad. It was my brother, I believe, who said that we shouldn't send our parents unchaperoned. So he volunteered me, as the only one of us not married at the time, to go along on the trip. It was a labor of love. We also invited my Aunt Margaret, who this coming summer will celebrate her 107th birthday, to go with us because she absolutely loved to travel and had a lot of experience doing so. I mention this because my aunt often reminisces with me about the trip. Among the reminiscences that my aunt and I share was the time that we went to an Indonesian restaurant in Amsterdam. The specialty in Indonesian restaurants is a rice table, a large, lazy Susan-like apparatus in the center of the table with multiple sauces to put over rice: prawns and spicy coconut sauce, stir-fried water spinach, curried peanuts and bananas, or ikan goreng, otherwise known as deep-fried dory fish. My dad was a meat and potatoes sort of guy, so I was not at all sure how he would like it, but I knew my mom and my aunt would relish this experience. Much to my surprise, my dad found items on the rice table he absolutely loved. At one point during the meal, he asked me what I'd ordered, and before I could get the words out of my mouth, my mother said, "Can you believe that Bob ordered us the dinner for two?" I hadn't. I'd ordered a rice table for four, but my mom knew that if my dad thought the meal was a bargain, he was going to like it even better. That may have been the only lie I can remember my mother deliberately telling. It was while we were in the Netherlands that the memory that serves as the basis for this message took place. My dad was always an early riser, and I have a rule of never missing breakfast. So he and I were headed down to have our bread and cheeses when my dad stopped and asked me if I noticed anything interesting about the view outside in the streets of the town we were staying in. I said, "Well, they're very clean." He told me to look closely at the two street cleaners sweeping the pavement. Then he asked me if anything struck me about these two men. I noticed that they were dressed in clean uniforms and that they were taking a great deal of pride in their work. I still remember my dad remarking that what impressed him is that although this work was not work that required a lot of education to complete, the workers conducted themselves with dignity and took pride in their work. I can't say for certain if I asked my dad if he thought that the dignity came from the workers' own sense of self-worth or from the way in which the people in the culture looked at street cleaners, but regardless of the source, we witnessed people who valued what they were doing and conducted them with a humble sort of dignity. This experience has stayed with me over the years. When my children were small, they decided to make me happy by shoveling the snow before I got home. I made a classic parenting error by tidying up some of their work, thereby negating their efforts to please me. In some ways, when my Swiss compulsion for neatness came out, I cheated them of some dignity which they had earned. They had done the best they could and were proud to have helped. I share this example because sometimes, without even knowing we are doing it, we can strip people of their dignity. Jesus has much to say about how to treat others. Christianity's most fully developed commands are found in the direct words of Jesus. Love your enemies and pray for those who persecute you. Do good to those who hate you. Bless those who curse you. Pray for those who mistreat you. If someone slaps you on the cheek, turn to them the other one also. If someone takes your coat, do not withhold your shirt from them. Give to everyone who asks you, and if anyone takes what belongs to you, do not demand it back. Do to others as you would have them do to you. From Jesus' perspective, if you love only those who love you, what credit is that to you? But loving your enemies, doing good to them, and lending to them without expecting anything back, that's radical stuff. That, I would contend, is the full manifestation of showing dignity to others. Doing so, of course, is hard. But moving the needle so that we regard those who are different from us, who have low-paying jobs, who may not be able to afford the houses or cars or clothes that more fortunate people possess, is the challenge I offer to you and to me. I know how hard showing real dignity towards others is. But I also know that if we can approach others with dignity, the self-worth of others will grow and negative feelings will diminish. As such, striving to create more dignity in the world seems a challenge worth all of us undertaking. By way of conclusion, I want to mention an experience from this year's Stratford theater trip. A number of us had an opportunity to see Shakespeare's play, The Tempest. The central character, Prospero, has his, or in the case of our performance, her kingdom usurped by her brother. In the playbill, Prospero is described as having a mind that is a graveyard with ghosts of her past walking before her. However, she chooses to use her powers to bring about restoration. In fact, it is through her empathy, her efforts to treat those who have harmed her with dignity, that Prospero discovers the path to freedom and are released from her past demons. Dignity is predicated on the belief in the worth of every individual. The Tempest reminds us that empathy is a path to finding the dignity in others, and even more profoundly, a pathway toward bringing out the dignity in others. As Sana so eloquently put it in her invocation, May our experiences here give us the strength to act with honesty, kindness, and integrity in everything that our futures lead us to. Thank you.
School prayer. Watch over our school, O Lord, as its years increase, and bless and guide its students and its teachers wherever we may be. Keep our principles sound, our commitments certain, and our hearts pure. Be by our side in dark hours, strengthen us when we stand, rise us up if we fall, and in all the business of everyday life, may your voice be heard and your peace always be with us. Amen.
Please be seated. First of all, I am so glad that it's not raining. This has been a nail biter all week long. We have Mr. Chang, who's our resident meteorologist, who is on speed dial with us in Kansas City, where he's grading AP physics exams. So he's been very helpful. Good evening and welcome. Whoa. Wow. Good evening and welcome to our students, parents, grandparents, faculty, alumni, and parents of alumni, board and foundation members, and friends, as we gather at the end of our 40th year to celebrate the class of 2018. This is a class of many impressive accomplishments in all areas of school life: the arts, athletics, academics, and multiple co-curricular activities. The achievements of each of our students, taken together, help define the excellence of our school community and do much to advance the reputation of Canterbury as the finest school in the region. These 89 soon-to-be graduates represent the best of who we are as a community and who we aspire to be. In fact, one of the reasons that our seniors are such wonderful representatives of Canterbury School is that almost 30% of them have been students here for most of their lives. Earlier today, we recognized 25 members of the senior class who've been here for 13 years or more, 9 of whom have called Canterbury home for 16 of their 18 years. These individuals represent the literal embodiment of the Canterbury experience, and speak so well to the impact of our many educational opportunities on the growth and development of our students. Can those 25 students please stand so that we can publicly acknowledge their lifetime connection to the school? I also want to point out that as we welcome our seniors into the ranks of our alumni, we are also welcoming 64 senior families officially into our community of parents of alumni, meaning that they will no longer have any children attending Canterbury School. We're so thankful for your commitment to the school, your support of our teachers and our programming, and for the privilege of having you as actively engaged members of our school community. We look forward to your continued interest and involvement in the school as your relationship with the school evolves to a new and exciting stage for you. Can we give these families a hand as well? With that said, my goal tonight is to give you a sense not only of how talented this senior class is, but also a bit of a window into their individual interests and their collective personality, so that you too can understand what an impressive group of young adults we are honoring in this ceremony. So how impressive is our senior class? Just listen to these examples. The 89 members of our senior class completed 733 college applications to 234 different colleges and universities. They received 448 acceptances from 172 of them, and in the fall, our seniors will attend 54 colleges and universities in 19 different states, as well as in Canada. From our seniors who have self-reported regarding merit scholarship offers, we know that the class of 2018 has received at least $9.1 million in merit scholarship offers, and that our seniors have accepted at least $3.5 million in merit scholarship awards, which is an incredible amount for so small a class. 6 members of the class of 2018 have been recognized as national merit finalists. 5 have been named commended students, and 1 student has been named National Hispanic Scholar. Together, this represents 14% of the senior class. For comparison purposes, consider that in 2017, which is the most recent data available, only 3.2% of American high school students were recognized in these categories. In Indiana, that number was 1.8%. 25 seniors, again nearly 30% of the class, have been recognized by the College Board as advanced placement scholars at some level of distinction. As I stated last year as well, this proportion of nationally recognized excellence is simply not replicated at any other school in the area. It's incredibly impressive. The Scholastic Awards program is the nation's longest running and most prestigious recognition program for creative teens in grades 7 through 12. Since entering the high school, 25 members of the class of 2018 have received a total of 126 Scholastic Awards, Gold Key, Silver Key, and Honorable Mention in art and writing, 111 in writing, and 15 in art. Again, nearly 30% of the senior class has been recognized by this highly regarded national program, a proportional level of performance that is quite difficult to replicate. To provide some context, all of this excellence and performance comes in addition to all of the other activities our students are involved in. Here's a taste of how involved our seniors have been over the course of their high school careers. 27 seniors have been members of the choir, 25 have been involved in the theater program, 16 have been band members, 9 have been members of the orchestra, 33 played soccer, 21 were swimmers, 19 were members of the track team, 17 played basketball, 15 played tennis, 8 were golfers, 6 played baseball, 6 played softball, 5 were members of the cross-country team, 4 were cheerleaders, and 4 played volleyball. All of these activities require enormous amounts of time and dedication, which makes the achievements of this group all the more impressive. Our seniors have been incredibly engaged and enormously successful, and their efforts speak very well to the breadth and power of the Canterbury experience. Of course, our seniors have worked very hard to prepare themselves for study at the college level, and their interests and majors are quite varied. Here's a sample. Political science, biology, business and real estate, criminology, audio engineering, culinary arts, international development, cybersecurity, public policy analysis, financial mathematics, exercise science, chemical engineering, sports management, animal science, pharmacy, computational linguistics, education, theater and media communications, video game design and technology, interior design, marine biology, and communication disorders. I asked the seniors, given their stated areas of interest, what do you want to be? Again, a wide variety of aspirations. Physical therapist, interior designer, film director, teacher, OBGYN, security analyst, pharmacist, lawyer or politician, park ranger, law enforcement, video game designer, army general, restaurateur, or, cutting right to the chase, a billionaire. I admire the confidence of that one. On the other end of the spectrum, not living in my parents' basement, which is another noble goal. I'm sure that some of our seniors will attain their current goals, while others will discover new interests and passions while in college. That's what makes the next step in their journey so exciting to consider. Obviously, their future success will be helped enormously by special talents they have. Here are some that they shared with me. A great memory, investing, I can talk good, I have 19 food allergies, piano, soccer, I put cinnamon in my hot chocolate to make it taste better, I'm a good listener, I accept everyone for who they are, I can watch Netflix for hours and forget what day it is, basketball, chess, I can pinch people with my toes, singing, traditional Chinese instruments, I can do my homework even while crying. Clearly a varied and helpful toolkit that bodes well for future success. I also asked the seniors to capture the essence of themselves in a 6-word autobiography. Many of the seniors I met with at the end of the year told me that this took them a long time because they really wanted theirs to be great. So here are some that particularly stood out to me. There's always something to laugh about. I basically live at this school. I can't believe I didn't fail. Just a lactose-intolerant milkshake addict. Always down to try new things. Aspired to be childlike, not childish. Stressed, depressed, but still well-dressed. Want to go on an adventure? I want to leave, make it quick. Funny, shy, friendly, caring, unserious, and thoughtful. I'm that quiet yet kind cellist. I'm 19, but mentally I'm 65. I overthinking about overthinking everything. I've made all the best mistakes. Pizza, pasta, potatoes, popcorn, pretzels, puppies. I'm not superstitious, I'm a little stitious. That's for Mr. Shantz, actually. I am the epitome of greatness. Me, an intellectual and a musician. Kinda awkward and really like Spider-Man. And probably the most profound, I'm still figuring it all out. And because I can't resist, I always appreciate people who step outside the box. 6 words are not able to define me. That's 8 words. I'm not so good at following rules. That's 7. Crouching buffoon, hidden genius. That's just hilarious. That's my favorite part of my speech. It really captures the range of personalities of this class and gives you all an appreciation of why we will miss this group so much. Finally, I spent some time with a little more than half of the class over the last months of school to find out a bit more about their experiences here at Canterbury. One question I asked everyone was what was great about their time here, favorite or lasting memories, that sort of thing. They were quite often very specific in their comments, singling out Cav games, Thanksgiving feast, convocation, chapel, sporting events, the homecoming picnic, class trips, the buddy system, the house system, and the gong show. Interestingly, even though on the surface these items seem quite different from each other, My takeaway is that all of them represent our entire school community coming together for some specific purpose. This is what our students have appreciated. "It's nice to see the whole school come together," said one. "It brings you closer to students in other grades," said another. "It's great for bonding. It's so unifying. And it's cool to see the school so excited," said several others. Being an active part of a community that deliberately creates shared experiences is what they appreciate. And as another senior noted, "The memories you make are awesome." And I absolutely agree. One last aspect that every single senior I spoke to commented on: the respect they have for their teachers, their gratitude for their guidance and support, and the high regard that they have for the relationships they have formed with them. Some more specific comments: "I know my teachers and they know me. Close relationships with my teachers have been essential to my experience. You have the support you need to move forward with confidence." What's amazing about the students' true affection for their teachers is that it is school-wide. I can't tell you how many students told me that some of their favorite teachers were in the middle school or the lower school. That was also one of the reasons that they enjoyed all school gatherings. They got to see and say hello to people who were so important to them. It's often said that teachers are a school's most valuable asset, and this is exactly why. They often represent the most vivid and inspiring memories that students take forward from their childhood, and the life lessons that they learn from these favorite teachers last well into adulthood. Can we thank our faculty for all the wonderful work they do every day? They've done wonderful things for the class of 2018. So away we go. Shortly, the class of 2018 will officially be alumni of Canterbury School. We are all very proud of you. We will miss you as you head off into your futures, and will anxiously await news of all the terrific things you will accomplish in the years to come. Don't be strangers. Come back to visit often. You always have people here to come back to who care about you very much. Congratulations and much luck to all of you. And thank you again to everyone for being here today. Let's hear it for the class of 2018.
Good evening, friends and family. Before I begin, I would like to thank the class of 2018 for giving me the opportunity to speak today. These days, it is easier than ever to spend an entire day by yourself. Media like Twitter and Instagram, Hulu and Netflix have made it possible to entertain yourself for hours on end. That's pretty much how I spent my first day off, wrapped up in a blanket rewatching old shows like Friends and old movies like 17 Again. Finally, when I felt my joints seizing up and my eyes starting to dry out, I stopped and began to think about school. Now, at first it might seem a little sad that I was thinking about school on my first day of break, but it was strange not sitting in a classroom, following a lecture or finishing some work. I started thinking about stories teachers told, and I realized that they never started off stories with "one night when I was watching Netflix" or "as I was scrolling through Twitter." Or, I guess since we're talking about teachers, adults, it would be more appropriate to say they never started off stories with "one night as I was perusing the aisles of Blockbuster," or "when I was clicking through my MySpace." No, their stories revolved around spectacular experiences that always involved people. For example, Mrs. Irvin told us stories about an extremely hairy OBGYN doctor, and her shenanigans with her roommate Stacy. And when Senor recalled his time in high school, he told stories about things he did with his close friends or people on the wrestling and track team. What it shows is that it's the people that make experiences memorable. Since it is so easy to spend an entire day by yourself, it is critical to focus on the importance of our relationships with people. Any type of relationship requires time, energy, and attention, but interacting with people is worth it for 3 reasons: discovering new ideas, enhancing the moment, and creating lifelong memories. First, By talking and interacting with people, you are exposed to a variety of new viewpoints and introduced to cool new opportunities. Spending time with others broadens your horizons, and you gain a greater appreciation for what others do. People expose us to new ways of thinking that add variety and color to our lives. And at Canterbury, we have a unique opportunity to do that for a couple of reasons. Students here have a variety of backgrounds, from those who have lived in Indiana their entire lives, to students from states like New Jersey, California, and Missouri, and even students from around the world, from countries like Ethiopia, China, Sweden, and Australia. Moreover, many people at Canterbury are willing to share their opinions, whether it's engaging with students in the classroom or more casual conversations in the student commons. These discussions offer the greatest opportunity for social growth because they allow us to learn about how different people live and think. And getting to know these things about people around us is a very meaningful journey, filled with fun little surprises along the way. I remember the entire track team was pleasantly surprised when we found out that Coach Westfall jammed out to Kanye back in the day. I remember I was very pleasantly surprised when Dr. Worley joined a conversation I was having about fantasy football, even consoling me on my tragic loss during the playoffs. Who would have guessed? Expert on 18th century Scottish history and former fantasy football enthusiast. As I say this, I don't want to overlook the value of alone time. Creating time for yourself is important, even necessary. It can be very refreshing and therapeutic, being alone and painting, listening to music, or cheerfully watching the masterpieces that are the Paddington movies. But there's something else to be said about watching a movie or show with other people, which takes me to my second point. People enhance the overall experience. A prominent London neuroscientist has provided studies that show, simply put, that laughter is infectious, which is why watching a comedy movie with people around is so much more fun. I want to emphasize that I'm not saying don't watch Netflix or HBO. In fact, you should watch Netflix and HBO. They have some spectacular shows right now. But watch those great shows with someone else. Share those memes you find on Instagram or Reddit. It'll make the experience much more meaningful and fun. I believe sports also provide a perfect example for this. While watching games or practicing by yourself can be fun and important in improving your skills, the real fun in sports comes when you're playing with other people. Watching matches with people who are equally passionate about the sport, playing pickup games with your friends, or joining a lively discussion about why LeBron James is better than Michael Jordan. Although, that's more of a fact than an argument at this point. It's sports' unique ability to bring people together that make them such an attractive pastime. People naturally want to spend time together, and sports provide a perfect platform to do so. And finally, the third reason spending time with people is so important is the permanence of the memories you make with those people. Other people not only enhance the experience in the moment, but they make it so those moments last forever. When I look back on my experience in high school, the first things I remember are the challenges I took on and fun moments I spent with my peers or teachers. Carpooling to swim practice, selling, or at least attempting to sell Cav Crazy shirts, doggy deathmatch in Mr. Stevens' freshman English class, and the random but always fun little conversations during the lulls in class. Before, I mentioned watching a show with someone else enhances the overall experience, but it also helps make that experience last. You've added a whole new dimension to the moment, in which the laughing, crying, and jumping with joy with your friends, the action of watching things unfold, becomes part of the memory, and that is what makes the memory stick. When you're younger, growing up, graduation, future events seem so distant. Then, all of a sudden, it's graduation day, and these changes in your life begin happening all at once, serving as a reminder that life is always changing, sometimes slowly, sometimes incredibly quickly. Change is inevitable, but the memories you make with people are constant. They last forever. When I look out at the class of 2018 and the entire Canterbury community, I see people that I will be saying goodbye to after 4, 10, even 13 years together. But even though we may be in different parts of the country, thousands of miles away, the memories of our time spent together keeps us connected. Memories such as building a raft at Bradford Woods, exploring the Chicago Art Museum, numerous buses breaking down, and lost phones on go-kart tracks. These memories can provide solace in times of loneliness and joy in times of reunion. Although we have to say the inevitable goodbye at graduation, we take comfort in knowing our time together and memories will keep us connected. We should also take comfort in knowing that graduation shows us that we are at the doorstep to the next stage of our lives, in which we can meet new people and once again discover the most exciting opportunities, have the most spectacular experiences, and create the most wonderful memories.
It is my honor to present some very special awards, starting with the co-salutatorians. As a junior, our first salutatorian was inducted into the Cum Laude Society, a national organization that celebrates scholarship and the genuine love of learning. She was also a National Merit finalist. She was the anchor on our girls' soccer team last fall and was named Most Valuable Teammate, as well as being a nominee for the prestigious Eugene Cato Award, the IHSAA's top award for student athletes. As the co-coordinator of the high school's diversity committee, she played a very significant role in helping to orchestrate and participate in the Mayor's Diversity Summit. During her high school career, she amassed well over 700 community service hours and probably didn't count them all. Next fall, she will attend the University of Southern California. Our first salutatorian is Emma Case. Our second salutatorian is perhaps best known for giving graduation speeches. Like our first salutatorian, he was inducted into the Cum Laude Society as a junior and was also a National Merit finalist. He has been active in swimming and track and has epitomized the growth-oriented student athlete who strives to improve each year. He was a member of last year's state championship Econ Challenge team, and he's been a remarkable leader in Model UN. He also had an outstanding career in speech, even though most of the events were during the swimming season. Throughout his high school career, he modeled intellectual curiosity and the active pursuit of knowledge. Next year, he will attend Brown University. Our second salutatorian is Rishabh Jan. It is no accident that our valedictorian served as the co-chair of the Finance Committee. His junior independent project was on the impact of high-frequency trading on the stock market. He has, not surprisingly, been a major contributor to the Econ Challenge team. He's also been active in Model UN, the newspaper, and Big Brothers, Big Sisters. He has played tennis and golf for all 4 years of his high school career. I'm pleased to announce Arnie Lal as the valedictorian for the class of 2018. Arnie will attend Vanderbilt University in the fall. The Dean's Award is given to 2 students based on the exceptional effort they put forth in the classroom. These students earned nearly all marks of 5 on the participation and preparation grades, and they impressed their teachers with their remarkable diligence and effort. 5 students were commended for the Dean's Award this morning at the awards program: Gabrielle Carrion, Saisri Gusenhoven, Moira Halbauer, Elise Martin, and Danielle Wilcox. The first Dean's Award goes to a young woman who's distinguished herself through her diligence, her steady hard work, and her desire to continually improve. Put simply, she's always ready for class, always prepared. She's chosen to attend the University of Missouri in the fall. We are pleased to present the first Dean's Award to Lindsay Kent. The other Dean's Award goes to a young woman who, in the words of one faculty member, uses every moment effectively to get her work done and is never late with an assignment. She's truly maximized her efforts in the classroom. We're pleased to present the second Dean's Award to Savannah Hollis, who will be attending Butler University in the fall. The Faculty Prize is given to two students who've maximized their efforts in various areas of school life, inside and outside of the classroom. 3 students were commended for the Faculty Prize this morning. They are Savannah Brown, Danielle Mishler, and Sophia Slates. Our first Faculty Prize goes to a young man who, in the words of one faculty member, is the prototype of this award. Another faculty said of him, "He is one of the strongest leaders I have ever had," and then went on to clarify this comment by saying of his leadership that he was always there to prop others up, placing the team and his teammates before himself. He was the editor-in-chief of the Untitled paper, and in this role was described as confident but humble. We're pleased to recognize Rishabh Jan for this first Senior Faculty Prize. Our second Senior Faculty Prize goes to a young woman who's not only earned outstanding grades in a wide range of challenging courses, but has also excelled in golf and track, where she's earned Most Valuable Player twice, the Leadership Award, and the Most Improved Player. She has been a model of sportsmanship throughout her athletic career. She has been a leader on the Resource Committee, where she conveyed her enthusiasm for her classes and school activities to numerous incoming students. She's been a major contributor to the Untitled paper and completed the Global Studies Certificate. Next fall, she will be heading off to the University of Notre Dame. Our second very deserving recipient of the Senior Faculty Prize is Maria Teal. This year, we have 2 winners of the Headmaster's Cup. The Headmaster's Cup is a prestigious honor given to a student who's not only performed at a high level in the classroom, but has also embraced extracurricular activities in areas such as athletics and the arts. The first Headmaster's Cup goes to a young woman who's contributed to school life in numerous ways. Quiet, humble, and humorous, she's been a friend and an encouragement to classmates. As the co-coordinator of the Diversity Committee, she's been active in promoting understanding and respect in the school community. She is perhaps best known for her incredible accomplishments in art, where she was a National Scholastic Art winner. It is with pleasure that I announce that the first Headmaster's Cup is awarded to Sana Ghazali, who will be attending Purdue University in the fall. The second Headmaster's Cup goes to a young man who's been characterized as having an enthusiasm for doing his best in everything he does. Throughout high school, he's been a 3-season athlete. His basketball coach described him as the spark plug for the team, the player who personified grit. He was the tough, passionate rock on the state championship soccer team. In the classroom, he knows how to ask questions and stimulate debate. As the Parrot House leader, he ignited enthusiasm for school activities. The Headmaster's Cup is given with pride to Keegan McCardle. Keegan will be entering the University of Notre Dame in the fall. A little enthusiasm?
All right. Thanks.
The Canterbury Cup is given to the senior or seniors who have distinguished him or herself in the areas of citizenship, service, and leadership, three qualities that are difficult to quantify, but which add a great deal to the school community. The first Canterbury Cup is awarded to a young woman whose track career was not defined by races won, but by teammates supported and opponents who were greeted with grace and genuine sportsmanship. In the classroom, she's an active leader, someone whose positive attitude toward learning was infectious. Other students seldom see what happens on a tour for a prospective student or an admissions event, but this young woman has been described as one of the best ambassadors for Canterbury that school has ever known, supportive of her fellow classmates and her teachers. Next year, she will attend Pomona College. We are honored to announce that the first winner of the Canterbury Cup is Aubrey Aust. The second Canterbury Cup goes to a young man whose service to the school has been almost unparalleled. This young man has distinguished himself in speech, where he's qualified for the national tournament 3 years in a row. As the co-coordinator of senior duties, he not only helped to organize the senior volunteers, but he also pitched in and helped out with about any job imaginable. He has been the tireless tech booth student manager who's made it his job to try to think about every detail to assure that things work as well as possible. The faculty remark that he is the school's lead problem solver, and given that he has an unusually high sense of maturity and responsibility, many faculty have suggested, and I guess I concur, that this young man should forgo college and become the high school director. It is with sincere pleasure that the faculty award the second Canterbury Cup to Jason Collins. Jason will attend Case Western University in the fall.
Wave of the hand. With all the powers of your body concentrated in the hand on the tiller. All the powers of your mind concentrated on the goal beyond the horizon. You laugh as the salt spray catches your face in the second of rest, before a new wave. Sharing the happy freedom of the moment with those who share your responsibility. So in the self-forgetfulness of concentrated attention, the door opens for you into a pure living intimacy, a shared, timeless happiness, conveyed by a smile, a wave of the hand. Thanks to those who have taught me this. Thanks to the days that have taught me this.
Will Wright is a proud member of Canterbury's 13-year club. After having graduated from Canterbury, he pursued a bachelor's degree in business from Indiana University, and during his time here, he had the opportunity to both preside over several major student organizations and to serve as student body president. After graduating from IU, Will went on to investment banking, where he provided merger and acquisition advisory services to clients worldwide. After a few years of extremely pleasant 90-plus work weeks, He left the world of investment banking to work in private equity, where he became an investor leading origination efforts to acquire privately held businesses across the U.S. 2 years ago, he sacrificed the stability of a regular paycheck to launch his own investment fund, Dunmore Capital Partners, where he serves as managing partner with the backing of no fewer than 16 private investors. He earned his MBA from Northwestern's Kellogg School of Management and now resides in Chicago, where he devotes his time to his investment fund and searching for one business to acquire and operate. Let's give a toasty welcome to Will Wright.
Thank you. It's great to be back here for such an important event. I think my parents could attest to the fact that I don't come home very often, so this is a pretty nice perk to be back here. And I can also proudly say that one of my greatest Canterbury triumphs actually occurred only 2 days ago when I sent my speech to Mrs. Hancock to be submitted to the Canterbury Today. I actually received 3 words back. It looks good. These are 3 words I'd never seen her use before. So 13 years later, I can proudly say that I'm sleeping soundly. I recently had the opportunity to participate in a week-long mindfulness retreat. When I was your age, I would have found this to be about as exciting as a week full of iStep tests. However, today, I find mindfulness to be an incredibly useful tool in managing life's ups and downs. Shortly after returning from my retreat, I received an invite to come back for a graduation and realized what perfect timing for me to reflect on what I've learned over the years and attempt to impart some wisdom on you. And just as any decent commencement speaker might do, I'll attempt to distill this into 3 simple steps that I've learned over time. So step 1, identify your goals. I recently heard a great story about Evander Holyfield. Now, some may know Evander Holyfield as the guy who got his ear bitten off by Mike Tyson. What you may not know is that Evander was actually one of the greatest boxers to ever live, reigning as the first and only boxer ever to be undisputed champion in both cruiserweight and heavyweight divisions, and the only 4-time heavyweight champion of the world. But before Evander had any of that, he was just a kid who showed up at the gym one day with aspirations. After a rather lackluster workout, his coach asked him, "Why'd you show up today? Why are you really here?" Evander responded, "Because I want to be the greatest boxer that ever lived." The coach replied, "Is that a dream or is that a goal?" Because a dream is something you fantasize about that isn't going to happen. A goal is something for which you set a plan, you work for, and you achieve. Young Evander went home and thought about it. And the next day he came back and he said, "Coach, it's a goal. I'll do whatever it takes." Now this story resonated with me because for many years, you might say that I was lost, without a clear path or direction. I didn't understand the difference between a dream and a goal. And because of that, I didn't really know what I was working towards. This lack of direction was most evident, I would say, while I attended Canterbury. I was pretty much a straight B student, and I had to work for that. I had an average SAT. I applied to an average list of colleges. I'd say AP Bio might actually be the hardest class I've ever taken. And perhaps it didn't help when I fell asleep. I recall being awakened one day to Mr. King snapping, "Good God, man, have some respect for homeostasis." It wasn't until taking Dr. Worley's econ class that I found a topic that came somewhat natural to me, one that excited me and that I actually enjoyed. But on this day, 13 years ago, I didn't win any awards. I remember walking off this lawn thinking, I'm capable of so much more than this. But capable of what? At the time, I knew I had a dream. I wanted to go into business and be successful. But I had no idea what that meant or what that really looked like. I was still very much uncertain where my path might lead when I entered college. I took a career services class in my first year where we had to write down 1 to 2 goals we wanted to achieve for each year we were in school. We already set goals for ourselves every day. Go to the gym, eat healthy, get a good night's rest. But life isn't measured by one's daily routines. Rarely do we take a step back and apply this same energy and focus to our lives on a long-term basis. Finally, I was forced to identify my goals. Step 2, establish mentors. Billionaire investor and hedge fund manager Ray Dalio once said, "Ask yourself what you want. Seek out examples of other people who got what they wanted, and try to discern the cause and effect patterns behind their achievements so you can apply them to help you achieve your own goals." So to complete this goal assignment, I recall looking around campus and within my fraternity, attempting to identify upperclassmen who seemed to have what I wanted: strong leadership positions, admiration by faculty and peers, and those unattainable career offers. I grabbed a coffee with a few of these upperclassmen, recorded their achievements for my assignment, and I turned it in. Over time, I became closer with these upperclassmen, seeking guidance from them on classes and on extracurriculars. They became my mentors. Then it all happened. I couldn't believe how lucky I was during the years that follow. Everything seemed to fall my way. The unattainable leadership positions I had dreamed of became available. I went to work on Wall Street. I got to present to faculty and trustees. I became a mentor to underclassmen who are now taking me out for coffee. It wasn't until a few years after graduation that I discovered that original career services assignment saved on my computer. I was shocked. I'd followed the playbook precisely and nailed each and every goal. But I didn't blaze a new path. I followed in the footsteps of those who had achieved similar goals to me, before me. Why reinvent the wheel? Establish those mentors, and you won't have to. So you might say, well, that's great. I've identified my goals and established my mentors, but how do I go about executing on this plan and actually accomplishing something? Step 3, leverage the skills you already have. Goals and mentors won't get you far if you don't have the right tools. So here's the best part. I wouldn't have been able to follow in the path I did without the foundation that Canterbury provided me. While high school never came easy, college was a breeze. Because of the routines and the disciplines I developed within these walls, I learned how to think, how to write, how to stay organized, how to present. I've been able to separate from the herd in life by applying the lessons I learned within these walls. And you can all rest assured, my mother told me to add this part. My hat's off to the parents for making such a significant investment to send your children to this great school. You can all rest assured knowing that your son or daughter is more prepared today than they ever will be for the journey that lies ahead. Today, I spend my days rallying my investor group to support my latest investment thesis or acquisition opportunity. It's exhilarating. I work for myself. I set my own schedule. I've never worked harder in my life, and I couldn't be happier. While I have yet to make a ton of money or manage 100+ employees, I'm excited to report today I think I found the success, or at least established the path that I had hoped for when I was in your shoes 13 years ago. And you should be excited too, because we all share in the same foundation. With concrete goals and the right mentors, you can leverage the skills you've developed here today to achieve what might now seem impossible. Regardless of what prestigious institution lies ahead, I can assure you, your future peer group doesn't have the Canterbury arrow in their quiver. So congratulations, class of 2018. You're about to enter an incredibly impactful period of your life. As I've found, one that can set your trajectory for many years to come. I'm guessing you may find yourselves with a fair amount of free time over the next couple months. So I'd encourage you to use this time to take that first step. Find some time to be thoughtful about your future and visualize your path. Consider the coach's words. Why'd you show up? Why are you here? Are you chasing a dream, or are you working towards a goal? Thank you.
Now we come to the serious business of graduating our 12th grade students. The diploma I give now certifies recognition from the faculty for a job well done and confirms a lasting relationship between the school and its 12th grade class. As seniors receive their diplomas from me, they will also receive from Spencer Feichner, President of the Alumni Association, an official certificate welcoming them into the Canterbury Alumni Association. Would the seniors please rise by rows and come forward as Mr. Shantz reads their names.
Mark Manuel Alvarez. Aubrey Ann Ost. Samantha Catherine Becker. Kelsey Lorene Booth. Savannah Josephine Brown. Anthony Eric Brueggemann. Gabrielle Octavia Carrion. Emma Victoria Case. Laura Genevieve Caesar. Stephen Donahue Chapman. Yuvraj Chaudhary. Yunting Chen. Michael Sean Clark, Jr. Jacob Earl Colgrove. Jason Thomas Collins. Ian Guy Corbett. General Carter Reed Davis. Ryan James Drohan. Sinyi Duan. Alea May Eastham. Jordan Mackenzie Elliott. Catherine Elizabeth Galbraith. Would the second row please rise? Sana Ghazali. Kyle Thomas Gilbert. Graham Walker Davis Junegi. Nicholas Reed Gonzalez. Emmett Jude Grider. Thomas J. Groninger. Sai Shri Rishikesh Gussenhoven. Moira Louisa Claire Hallbauer. Gabrielle Brienne Hamilton. Sydney Sherelle Hearn. Elizabeth Ann Heine. Trevor Paul Helmkamp. Carlos Dien Hofer. Savannah Marie Hollis. Dina Harani. Jasper Aaron Hausman. Rishab Jan. Brittany Victoria James. Brianna J. Joyce. Gia Meher Kashyap. Lindsay Eleanor Kent. Kennedy Michelle Kolkman. Cameron Michael Krieger. Would the third row please rise? Benjamin Reardon Kuntz. Arnav Lal. Merritt Rowe Lamb. Rachel Marie LaRue. Keegan Cal Lee. Logan James Lee. Yuja Lee. Allison LaRae Locke. Connor Isaac Lochner. Camden Bruff Lytle. Jillian Elise Martin. Keegan Edward McCardle. Akash Misa. Hermon Ababu Minda. Destiny Danielle Mishler. Kaya Tyne Myers. Lily Elizabeth Peters. Akshat Pipratar. Mitchell Alexander Railsback. Sanjeev Kanjivaram Rajaram. Hannah Mae Grayson Reed. Younghwa Ren. James Brooke Romano. Would the fourth row please rise? Gabrielle Christine Sandkuhler. John Albert Sarno. Alicia Eve Scott. Robert McDowell Shugart. Ash Shukla. Sophia Elizabeth Slates. Elizabeth Isabel Snyder. Ethan Joseph Swinty. Maria Christine Teal. Kim Takarik Thomas. Megan Marie Thomas. Elena Renee Trier. Garrett Robert Bishop Walker. Olivia Cavendish Watson. Danielle Elizabeth Wilcox. John Isaac Williams, Jr. Meredith Eve Wojciechowski. Ryan Lewis Warman. Jiawei Wu. Hanson Yang. Yushi Zhao.
By the authority vested in me as head of this school, I now proclaim these students as graduates of the Canterbury School Class of 2018.
After the benediction, please remain seated until the faculty and students have recessed.
Lord, this day marks for us an end and a new beginning. Let us be grateful to all of those who have touched our lives in the years past. Let us be truly thankful for the gifts and talents with which you have blessed us. Lord, provide us with light and guidance in the days ahead. Lord, we know that in days ahead we will face challenges, even at times darkness. Help us to be salt so that in turn we can fend off the corruption, staleness, and mediocrity that threatens to bring us down. Be our light in days of darkness. Help us to radiate your truth and your message of love, hope, joy, and forgiveness.
Will the faculty and students please rise?